All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have the answer we've been looking for, and it's regarding Brandon Aiyuk and his status today of practice. According to multiple reports, Brandon Aiyuk is a non participant. And after everything that happened prior to practice, let's try to talk about what it means and let's try to talk about where we are currently at with the never ending contract negotiation from hell. Let's get into it all right now. But I guess to try to keep some positivity going, drop an SDS in the chat, smash that like button, and let's talk our way through it. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Love to see it. All right, guys, we are here. Another day, another nickel in the nickel jar. And now we got some drama on our hands, which, again, really isn't anything new regarding this entire situation, but it appears we got something here. So, obviously, we heard it started with Mike Garafolo through Greg Papa of KMBR, where we heard the expectation is that Brandon Ayuk was going to practice today. Now, that kind of message came across like in the sense of, oh, Brandon Ayuk's going to practice today. Oh, we expect Brandon Ayuk out there. Well, now I think we understand what that means. Obviously, you heard Kyle Shanahan talk about it. He's cleared of this back thing that they have kind of been saying is the reason why he hasn't been practicing. So that's been cleared. And now the hope and expectation from both Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch is that Brandon Ayuk will practice. And as it's been reported, Brandon Ayuk is not practicing. So this feels like it's heated up to yet another level. This feels like a whole nother level of drama because of the way everything was playing or has played out. So, where do we go from here? The biggest thing I think is to identify, have there been any changes? Based on this situation playing out this way, my assumption is no. There is no changes um, with this situation. If anything, it's going in the wrong direction based on how today's played out. So I don't know what that means for the future. I don't know what that means for Brandon Ayuk and the 49ers. The San Francisco, we're a week and a half away from the start of week one. The 49ers are treating this week as if it is they're preparing for a game. So as a result of that, they want their players to practice. Makes a lot of sense. But obviously, Brandon Ayuk isn't under contract, so it doesn't appear or excuse me, let me rephrase that. He's under contract in regards to the 5th year option. No new extension has been inked, and based on this kind of situation, it kind of feels like we are now angling towards Brandon Ayuk playing on the 5th year option. That kind of feels like the stance of where we are at with um, how everything was discussed today in the lead up to practice, to then knowing probably Brandon Ayuk wasn't going to practice today, and then now the conversations that have to happen as a result of that. So my read on this situation is I don't think we're any closer to a resolution. If anything, to me, this makes me feel like we are further away from resolution than being closer. And again, it's an interesting dilemma because I truthfully believe the 49ers won't trade Brandon Ayuk because they won't be able to recoup the value of him. Trading him at a loss doesn't make sense just to get him off your team. So I don't really know where we go from here. This this feels like new territory yet again. Um, I feel like we've crossed that bridge many times with this negotiation of, oh, we've never seen this before. Oh, we've never seen that before. I think this is another thing, at least with the San Francisco 49ers, that I haven't seen before. So I'm trying to quantify uh what it means, and the only thing that I could take away is that it's not positive. So, um, yeah, that's about as hard hitting of information that I can really provide on this. Is we're not closer to getting a contract done. If anything, we're probably further away. So what I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means for this season. I don't know what that means for the future. I don't know. Yeah, yeah. We're in unprecedented territory here regarding this situation. Uh, so yeah, man. Uh, unfortunate, unfortunate scenario unfolding because I think, regardless of trying to find the resolution with this situation, all the only thing that's really happening right now is it feels like the team is being hurt uh, one way or the other. Um, it just feels like, you know, both sides, I think, are hurting in this situation. Um, I think, and as a result of both sides kind of being at odds, it feels like everything is getting caught up in the crosshairs. You know what I mean? It's like obviously fans are involved, other reporters are involved, other fan bases are involved. Um, Jason says if the report didn't drop that he was expected to practice, this day would have went by without anything popping off. 100%. 100%. So that makes you think, well, why did that come out? How did that come out? Where's Mike Garafolo getting that information? Because based on Brandon Ayuk not practicing, that to me tells me that he has no indication of practicing. So again, that's why this situation is just it's a headache at this point. And it's playing out in front of everyone for everyone to see. And it's sad, to be honest, because um I see all the other fan bases commenting. Uh, I see all the other fan bases commenting on this situation. I see the comments. I get the comments. Other fan bases commenting on my stuff, just like, dude, what is wrong with you guys? It, it's, it's, I, I get it. I get that neither BA or the 49ers organization care. Um, about that perception standpoint, but boy, being caught up in the middle of it, just as someone who covers the team, it is it is messy. This is really really messy. Um, it's obviously not a good look for us as a unit, as a team, as a whole. Um, and it's just unfortunate, right? Because again, this is a multi-million billion-dollar business, so uh, that's where what we're dealing with. We're dealing with that aspect of it. We're dealing with the business side. So business side doesn't operate through the lens of on-field, perception necessarily. So, man, it just sucks, dude. Just really sucks. I want to be excited for this season. I want to be hyped. The 49ers, it's there's always hope with this team, right? Because we know this team's been constructed well. Um, they're talented across the board. We got a quarterback, so there's plenty of hope for what this team can do this year. But it feels like all of that hope is been pounded into the ground just over these ongoing situations that continue to play out in the media. So as it stands right now, dude, I don't even know, dude. I don't even know. I wish I could give you some uh, insightful analysis of this situation, of where we're headed, of what's to be in the future. I got nothing for you guys. We don't know. I've never seen this before. I don't think a lot of people have seen this before. The people I've talked to in this industry who've been doing this for a lot longer than I have, they've never seen this before. So, and you got it going on with two players right now. So I don't even know, dude. I don't even know. I don't even know. Chris says, Brad, Steelers fans endured this torment with Bell and Brown. We sympathize with you and feel your pain. Stand strong, guys. Better days are ahead. Yeah, I guess that's what we got. We are at Le'Veon Bell, Antonio Brown levels of dysfunction. Um, I'm not saying that I think BA is Le'Veon Bell or Antonio Brown, but when it came to the media uh, situation all the way around, oh, jeez. All right. Do you guys have any questions? Do you have anything to ask further about this? We had some additional updates, so I can shift gears to additional updates. This whole situation is just depressing me at this point. Um, if you have any other questions on the Aiyuk thing, on the Trent thing, feel free to ask them now. If not, I'm just going to shift gears towards the other things that have been popping off today, and other things that we've been hearing. Um, I don't see your question. I see you pointing to a question. I don't see the question. The status of Trent Williams is exactly the same that it's been this whole time. What team is he trying to get traded to? No team. No team. There's no options. Uh, Based on my feel, there's no options. In fantasy drafts, are you drafting like BA stays or leaves? If I'm being honest, if I'm giving you fantasy advice, I'm probably staying away from BA at this point, based on current ADP, unless his ADP has taken a dive. And you get like a value on him. I think you have to pivot, because who we have no idea when BA is playing. We don't. We don't have any clue. So if you are trying to get ready for your fantasy drafts and you're trying to figure out how to quantify where BA is, I would almost say just at this point, don't draft him unless he slides multiple rounds beyond his ADP, and then you get him at a value. So that way you're insulated with other players on your roster that you don't have to rely on BA. But if you draft BA as like your wide receiver two, um, it feels risky at this point. And I'm saying this as someone who probably has Brandon Ayuk in 80% of my dynasty leagues. So I have a healthy serving of Brandon Ayuk, Justin Jefferson, and CeeDee Lamb and Jamar Chase in my dynasty leagues, and it's been quite the offseason. So if you're getting ready for your drafts, I would only take BA at a value just because his future is completely unpredictable at this point. No idea. No idea what the future holds for Brandon Ayuk in this situation, and that's unfortunate with the 49ers season being a week away. So just unfortunate. But let's talk about some of the other moves that have gone down. So we had a little bit of a flurry of roster moves happen um, amidst all that situation. So this is the update that we have to the roster. Right here. Boom. All right. So the 49ers have officially put Jonathan Feliciano and Ambry Thomas on IR, which obviously opens up some roster spots. And they were able to bring back some other guys. So Rock Sin comes back, which I like that. I had Rock Sin making the roster. He just happened to make the roster in a roundabout way. So Rock Sin is back. Ben Barch is back. And Eric Saubert is back. So happy that Eric Saubert is back because that was the tight end thing was a little nerve wracking, but I assumed this was the plan. So they are able to bring back Eric Sauber. That's a good thing. He had a great camp. I expect him to actually be pretty decent. I was a very high on Charlie Warner just because he was such a phenomenal blocker. I think Eric Saubert could be better than what Charlie Warner is because Eric Saubert actually can actually catch the football, like can actually be a guy that we can rely on as a pass catching tight end. So, and that's not a slight to Warner. He just wasn't. I think he had 11 catches in 4 years. With Eric Saubert, I see a guy who you can absolutely implement as a receiving tight end, and he will do well. He caught pretty much everything that was thrown at him in training camp, and I really like the addition of Sauber. I wasn't expecting to like the addition this much, but I do. And they waived Sam Okiwanu. Unfortunate for him. I feel bad for the guy because I'm sure he was super hyped to make the roster. Now he gets waived. I assume they bring him back to the practice squad. But yeah, we will have to see. You will have to see what happens there. I saw someone say talk about Terrace Marshall. We could definitely talk about Terrace Marshall. 6'3", 200 pounds, 24-year-old. He's got 4.4 speed, great length, great body for a wide receiver. Just hasn't been a producer in the NFL. He's got less than 800 receiving yards over 3 seasons. And that was, I think, at a point when he was like wide receiver 2. It just hasn't really clicked for him. But again, change of scenery could be everything. So change of scenery plus opportunity, plus a better system. I think he's had like multiple offensive coordinators throughout his time. So the beautiful thing about Terrace Marshall is he's 24 years old. So for comparison's sake, Debo Samuel was a 24-year-old rookie. So you have a guy who still could be considered a rookie, age wise, who has 3 years of experience. Although it didn't go as planned, there's still an arrow pointing up for him. So Terrace Marshall could be a guy that definitely improves as well. We did get some other injury updates. One with Aaron Banks. So Aaron Banks is going to return to practice next Tuesday, I believe it is, according to Kyle Shanahan. Um, so that's good. That's good. Uh, he was dealing with like the broken pinky, I believe it was. So good to have Aaron Banks back into the mix. Also, a very, very welcome sight to see was this guy, Leonard Floyd. Leonard Floyd back at practice, according to multiple beat reporters today. So Floyd back out there after that scare against the Raiders. That's good news. I also saw some additional updates from Nick Wagner on some injury stuff. I guess we had an injury to Isaac Garendo, unfortunately. So Isaac Garendo apparently tweaked something. Uh, he tweaked his groin. Working off to the side today was Garendo, McCaffrey, and Banks. Wagner didn't see D. Winters, Yetur Gross Matos, or Jawan Jennings, who has an oblique injury. So, good thing that Floyd came back because, yes, we need him. Unfortunate for Yetur, and interesting what's going on with Jawan. And as we know, Christian McCaffrey, from what we've been told, is kind of a precautionary holdout at this time. And then Ricky Pearsall, who's dealing with the shoulder, was practicing today, but he's still in the blue non contact jersey. So he's at least trending in the right direction for the 49ers. So that's good. There's some positive news, I guess. Getting some players healthy, getting some players back. Uh, and doing all that. Um, anyways, I hope you guys are doing well. Mental health check with all of you. Um, I hope, I hope, I know it might sound silly to some, but I hope this situation isn't, messing with you too much. I know there are legitimately fans out there that put their mental health in their team's hands for the entire, you know, autumn and winter seasons. So, hopefully y'all are doing all right throughout this situation. Um, this thing's crazy, man. This thing's crazy. Uh, so my thing, I think my advice to you guys would be uh just I don't have any expectations. I have zero expectations. I'm now at the point where I'm gonna start preparing for week one without Trent Williams and without Brandon Aiyuk. That's the only thing I can do right now. Having any type of expectation that either one of those guys are going to be resolved just feels like a setup for disappointment. So for me personally, I'm just going to proceed forward as if Jalen Moore is going to be our starting left tackle, and you'll see likely Chris Conley. We'll see about Juwan Jennings, who popped up on the injury report, and Debo Samuel. And then obviously Jacob Cowing. How does he fit into the mix? Ricky Pearsall potentially be available to go. That's what we got to do. That's what we got to do. So if we're really going to be moving forward into the season like that, it is what it is. It would be no different if these guys were injured, suffered a soft tissue injury in practice, and weren't able to go. So that's just how I'm preparing. I'm assuming that those guys aren't going to be ready to go for week one. So we're at that stage. We're at that stage right now where that's what the 49ers are doing. They're at practice, preparing for the Jets, getting ready, implementing game plans, um, doing all those things. So they're doing all those things without BA and Trent. So I will follow suit because him and Han over a bunch of stuff that doesn't feel like it's going to happen at this point. Doesn't feel like it's going to do a benefit to any of us. So that's the status quo. Is at this point expecting no Trent, expecting no BA. I did see the 49ers put out a nice little video of Hufanga out at practice. So I didn't get a clear read on exactly if Hufanga is practicing or not. Yeah, I don't have a clear read from anyone yet that Hufanga's practicing. We do know he was activated off PUP. Let me see if someone put it out. I missed it. Did Mayoko talk about it? Let me see. I don't see anything from Mayoko. I didn't see anything from Wagner. So we'll see. We'll see what the status is of Talano Hufanga. And yeah, we'll see. Any other questions that you guys got about this situation? Let me go through. There's been a lot. There's been a lot happening. A lot happening today. I've already talked about the practice squad guys. You know, I've been thinking about this. I've been thinking about this. Purdy's kind of been, I think, one of the biggest benefactors of this whole situation with Aiyuk. Is the conversation heading into this offseason, right, was still like, is Purdy that guy? Is he just another guy? Is he top 10? Is he? I don't feel like we're uh I don't feel like we're talking about quantifying Brock Purdy as much. He might be one of the biggest benefactors uh, with this this whole situation. They still exist. They're still out there, but it's just all eyes are focused elsewhere at the moment. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Um, what do I think Trent is looking to get? I assume Trent is looking to get to be the highest paid defensive player, offensive player. I can't even speak. I think he's angling to be the highest paid left tackle in the league. Obviously, wanting guaranteed money. I don't know if it's a restructure or like just ripping it up and redoing the deal. I would probably assume it's a bit of a restructure. But again, I'm assuming it comes down to more guaranteed money, obviously. But I do think he wants the contract to read as he's the highest paid left tackle in the NFL. Who wears 13? I think Trent Williams wears number 13, if I'm not mistaken. Uh, uh, since Aiyuk is a holdout, no, I think he's still technically a hold in. Um, I still think he's technically a hold in. Uh, I think he's still a hold in, but we might be at that stage where I don't know, something can happen. I don't know what would happen because I'm not familiar um, with how the 49ers could get around this. But I think we're at that territory. Like I think we're close. I don't know, man. It's just crazy. Like on one hand, it was like, oh, the 49ers have the 49ers, Brandon Aiyuk, they've agreed to the first 3 years, and the last thing is just a minor thing, and then now we're here. Oh, dude, there's more twists and turns on this road than the road to Hana. I don't even know. I don't even know. This situation is. I wish I could. I miss. I miss the time when I was super confident that that Brandon Ayuk wasn't going to get traded. Now I don't even know what the future holds for Brandon Ayuk. If he's going to even be on the team, uh, would they? There's no way they would. Yeah, I have no idea. I have no idea. I think we're heading into that unprecedented territory where what the ultimate outcome from this situation is could be something that we don't expect or we don't anticipate. So yeah, this is interesting waters that we are treading in right now. So kind of got my head spinning a little bit. I wish I knew. I wish I could see out and project a little bit, but I don't really know. I really don't know. Really don't know. Oh. Would I put Salbert as fullback too? Probably. Probably. So I don't know. I think the biggest thing that I'm looking forward to is seeing how this offense operates um, in in the grand scheme of things. Uh, because there was moments where they look good. There was moments when they look like they were missing some pieces throughout training camp. So Brian says, I believe since Aiyuk has been cleared medically to practice, they can find him now. Shanahan was asked if they would, and he didn't rule it out. Yeah, I mean, I don't like I said, I think we're in a bit unprecedented waters here. I think um, whatever happens in the future, um, I think whatever happens in the future, I'm scared of, to be honest. I'm scared of what the future holds because I'm not sure I believe it's going to be a positive outcome. So based on the fact that I'm not sure I believe it's going to be a positive outcome makes me nervous. We already heard Steve Young talking about this situation, talking about how these types of distractions absolutely seep into the locker room. They absolutely play a part in the locker room. All of those different types of things that they play a role. So yeah, it becomes a very, very challenging situation. So analysis. This isn't good. Oh, oh, dude. And to think we were so close. To think it felt like we were at that point where we're gonna get it done. We're gonna cross the finish line, and it feels like almost we're like further away than ever. Because I mean, remember the tone with Nick Bosa? Like Nick Bosa, I don't think signed until the 6th of September, but I don't know. I don't know. This feels different than that. It feels like Trent. It feels like Trent's negotiation is a little bit more symbolic of Nick's, right? Those two guys definitely feel like that's more aligned with with BA. We're off the beaten path. We're in the sticks. We're in the woods. Like we are lost with no flashlight. We don't know how to get out. We can't find the road. We don't know what north, south, east, west is. We're literally walking around in the pitch black woods looking for a clear path. And I'm not seeing it. I'm looking around and I'm like, yeah, I don't see no clear path because it's not going to be a trade. I don't see that happening. Um, it doesn't feel like it's going to be a contract extension, so I don't see that. I don't see that happening. Now it's like, well, I don't think BA is going to play on the 5th year option, so I don't. Something's got to give, man. Something's got to give, and I don't know what that's going to be. I don't know what that something is. I'm not sure anyone knows what that something is. Oh, Debo picked his side. What do you mean by that? I saw Debo. I saw that Debo had posted a pro Trent Williams thing. Um, Sad, man. It's just sad. I don't even have any better words for this, man. Yeah, I saw that. He posted the pic of Trent. I don't know, man. I think that that's just how I think that's how it works, dude. These players stick together. These players have a different mentality. Um, Obviously, fans, media, potentially, um, typically are going to angle towards the organization. But these players know what it is. These players see it every single day. They know what's what, and there's a reason why players stick with players. Um, it means more. They understand what's at play. They get it. There's a different context involved. That's why players stick with players. That's just how it works. Players stick with players. It's probably why I kind of operate, my brand as I do. Like, I'm a former player. I played this game. I loved playing this game. I tend to gravitate more towards the players, even though we cover the 49ers. And yes, I'm biased towards the 49ers. I gravitate towards the players. I That's how I cover this team. I cover this team try to cover it through a player's lens. I try to because I get the grind. I know how difficult it is. I know how hard practice is. I know all those nights, all those summers, all those days of work, 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 work that no one sees. I get it. I understand it. The injuries, the time in the training room, all of it. Like, I understand how challenging it is. No, I don't. I don't play. I never played professionally. If I played professionally, I'd probably have even a deeper uh, gratification. A deeper level of connection with those guys even further. I only played in college, um, but that's how I cover this team. I cover the team through that lens. I'm a player guy. Like, I like being able to show the other sides of the players, like the personal sides, the thought processes, the mentalities. Like when we had Patrick Willis on today. Patrick Willis was on the channel. My favorite part of it was just talking about him and his mentality when he was walking out on the field at Candlestick. Just trying to like put myself in those shoes of like what a great was thinking when he was about to step on the field. And that to me is where I get fulfillment, out of what I do. So that makes it, it can be challenging, right? Because like right now, it's clearly organization versus player. And like, where do I fit into that mix? Like, BA is a guy that I really like. He's been great to me. He's joined me on my channel, but I also like the 49ers a lot. So I'm like, damn it, man. It's like, can't we all get along? I'm like, golly. Like, oh, and again, it's hard too. It's like, because everyone's now picking sides, and that's the unfortunate part of it. It's like we got people picking sides without knowing what's going on, right? They think they know what's going on, but it's like, well, most people don't know what's going on. So it's like, and then you start picking sides and you start getting all aggressive, um, versus one side, and then you guys start, and everyone starts arguing with each other and yelling at each other. And it's like, oh my gosh, man. It's Crazy. Crazy. So, anyways, um, yeah, I feel like we're in the middle. Oh, I know I can like both. I do like both. But I feel like I'm in the middle of both. It's like I feel like that's how the fans are right now. Fans are stuck in the middle of this because fans want to win a Super Bowl, and I think we can all objectively say the 49ers best chance of winning a Super Bowl is with Brandon Ayuk and Trent Williams. So, but unfortunately, those two guys need to get paid. In order to make that happen, and it just feels like we're stuck. It feels like we're stuck. I don't know. I'm yapping at this point. Um, I think one of my issues is I feel too much. Like I put my feelings too much into the situation. Like I don't know. I'm yapping. Um, you might start a fight in the locker room. No, he won't. No, he won't. At least not with the players. It wouldn't be. I don't think it would be with the players because, like I said, man, like I brought up the analogy the other day. It's like your alpha male is holding out. Your alpha male is not there. The alpha in the locker room has said, "I'm not showing up." And are we surprised to see like all the other guys under his wing operate in a certain way? I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. My greatest weakness is that I care too much. 100%. I care too much about this for no reason. I should not care about the 49ers this much, yet here I am. Yet here I am. It is. It's one of my greatest weaknesses. I care about these players and I care about this team too much. And it messes with my emotions sometimes. Uh, good times. Good times. All right. What other stuff do we got? We got cooking. I think we covered everything for the most part today. Not a lot of updates at this point from here on out. So I think we're more status quo from here on out. And we just wait and see. And like I said, I think we're at the point where uh, you got to just you just got to move forward like they're not going to be here. Did we cover running backs? In what sense? We talked about some of the injuries. Garendo dinged up his groin. I think McCaffrey was off working to the side. Cody Schrader to the Rams. Patrick Taylor makes it to the roster. Uh, yeah, I don't know. Oh, Mitchell. Yeah, Mitchell on season ending IR. What's the deal with Mitchell? Is there a story why he went to season ending IR? I guess what had happened was is he tweaked his hamstring pretty badly trying to come back and recently in practice, and so I guess they just decided to shut him down for the year. It was honestly a huge surprise to me. I wasn't expecting it, um, but yeah, kind of a crazy situation. So I do think that he does become a free agent at the end of this year, which is going to be interesting to see how that plays into his future. Um, but yeah, I think a lot of people were like, why did the 49ers keep Ambry? I think the 49ers kept Ambry was because I think they believed that Adam Peters was going to claim him or sign him. I think I think they didn't want that to happen. I think they were hesitant of that occurring, and so they opted against that. But yeah, quite the situation on our hands here with this whole dilemma. And anyways, the problem is that neither one of these guys can be franchise tagged because they're not free agents. So they're technically under contract, so they can't be tagged. Um, they can't be tagged, and yeah, it's just stressful, man. Yeah. See, this is why you have to adopt the method of just being dead inside, so that way you can't feel pain anymore. Because again, we've talked about it. Like if you're my age, all you know is pain. You get to the mountaintop and then it's pain. it's it's like it's so close you can reach out and grab it and then it's pain. Just repeated pain over and over and over. Oh gosh. Wake me up when it's week 1. Wake me up when it's week 1, please. He said it means having a life outside of sports. See, some of us are just degenerates, right? Our I said this at the beginning. There are some of us that exist where our mental health is during this time of the year is fully driven by our sports teams. He said, "Bro thinks this is pain. Thank God he's not a Cowboys fan." I mean, I have some thoughts. I'm not going to share those thoughts just for the sake of the mood of today. Um, but yeah, he said, well, he's now imagine being a San Jose Sharks fan. Well, I was an A's fan, and I had to completely leave the A's because they are absolutely no good for my mental health and the way I like to be a fan of teams. So I just straight up said, A's, I'm out of here. I can't do it. Your ownership is terrible. Um, you have zero interest in producing a perennial winner. I said, I'm out. I'm not going to do this. This is torture and it's literally not worth it. So, yeah. So, anyways, I got nothing new to add. If anything pops, you already know I'm going to make a video on it and we'll talk about it. But yeah, not a good sign of what's going on today. So, uh, I'm going to head out. I'm out of here for now. Peace. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Love to see you.